Let's talk about HL7 message profiles. Think of the HL7 message profile as an overlay of the HL7 standard message structure that is further constrained. For example, where the HL7 standard message structure shows an unlimited number of NK1 segments, the HL7 message profile allows for only 3 NK1 segments. Additionally, fields that are optional in the HL7 standard message structure may be required within the HL7 message profile. And so a message profile is a set of rules for a particular type of message, say an ADT message, that everyone agrees to locally. The interface engineer and all the system admins that have to work with these messages will create a message profile, and it just puts more rules than the standard gives you. HL7 version 2 message profiling provides a guideline for documenting particular uses of HL7 messages. A defined version 2 message profile will be registered with HL7 and may be reused by other HL7 users, moving the HL7 standard closer to plug-and-play interfaces. So, if you make a really good message profile, you send it to HL7, they'll approve it, and then everybody can use it. With consistent and complete version 2 message profile documentation, HL7 version 2 interface partners explicitly understand what data will be passed, the format in which the data will be passed, the acknowledgement responsibilities of the sender and receiver. So these are things that you have to have in a message profile to get it approved. It has to say what data will be passed, what format it will be passed in, and what sort of acknowledgement is required. HL7 message profile definition. HL7 version 2 message profile is a precise and unambiguous specification of an HL7 standard message that has been analyzed for use within a particular set of requirements. It is a particular style or usage of a standard HL7 message driven by use case analysis and interaction modeling. The message profile defines both the static structure and content of the message and the dynamic interaction which involves the communications of the message from the sending application to one or more receiving applications. So, it defines the static structure. That means it's going to define exactly what segments are in there, what fields are in those segments, and what the segment sequence needs to be. It also defines the dynamic interaction, meaning does it get acknowledged or not? What does the receiver do when it gets this message? What does it trigger? Message profile documents must consist of the following components. They must have a use case model. This must be a use case diagram supported with text or just a textual description. It must have a static definition consisting of the message level profile, segment level profile, and field level profile, and the dynamic definition consisting of an interaction model and dynamic profile. These are the elements in the profile that you must have. It must have those components. HL7V2 message profile is compliant in all aspects with the HL7 defined message profiles, although it may specify constraints on the HL7 standard definition, and it should be expressed in a tabular format. That just simply means that you can't make a profile that breaks the HL7 standard rules. Right? You can't make a message that has the PID segment as the first segment. You always have to have an MSH segment as the first segment. In the static definition, for example, an HL7 version 2 message profile may limit the number of segments within the message. It may limit the number of fields within the segments or specify a set of user-defined tables. In the dynamic definition, for example, the message profile may define whether the message requires an accept acknowledgement or an application acknowledgement. A message profile will include a use case model. The use case model documents the scope and requirements for the HL7 version 2 message profile or a set of message profiles. The model includes a diagram and detailed text. The use case model must provide a name that clearly and concisely defines the exchange. It has to define the actors, including the sending and receiving applications, define the responsibilities of these actors, document the situations in which the exchange of a particular HL7 message profile is required, and document the purpose of each message exchange. And this is a typical use case diagram. This is for an admit visit notification diagram. You can see there's a patient is the subject of the admit visit. The physician authorizes the admit visit. The registrar triggers the admit visit. And the ADT sends, and the ADT notification recipient receives. So it's just a picture of how this will be used. Here's the use case detailed text. It gives a description of what this message would be about. Patient is admitted to the healthcare facility. It lists the actors involved, the patient, the physician, the registrar, the ADT system, and the ADT notification recipient. It lists preconditions of what has to happen, the trigger events basically that lead to this message being triggered, the flow of events, the post conditions, and the derivative events. That's what a use case detailed text would look like. The message level profile is a set of segments included within the message of an HL7 version 2 message profile shall be defined. Any segments that are required by HL7 shall be included. Some segments within the HL7 standard message are allowed to repeat. The number of all the segments within the message shall be defined. The minimum number shall be specified where known. The maximum number shall also be specified, or specified as unlimited by the asterisk symbol. Asterisk means it's unlimited. The message level profile shall be documented using the HL7 abstract message syntax with the addition of specifying cardinality for each of the segments contained within the message structure. So that's a really fancy way of saying in the message level profile it'll tell you a minimum number of segments and the maximum number of each segment if possible. If not, it'll be marked with an asterisk to say you can have an unlimited number of these particular segments. Segment level profile. The set of fields of each instance of an HL7 defined segment within the HL7 version 2 message profile shall be specified. The segment level profile shall be documented using the tabular format employed for HL7 segment definitions. So there's a table. And in this table you have each field and what goes in it. You also have some other columns. The length column shall be updated to accurately reflect the maximum allowed length for the field. The RO column shall be updated to reflect the usage of the field within a particular segment of the message profile. And the RP column shall accurately reflect the maximum number of repetitions of the field allowed for this segment. So you have a message level profile that basically tells you all about the segments. Then you have a segment level that basically tells you all the rules for each of the fields. This is getting kind of long, so I'm going to stop here and we'll pick up part 2 in just a second.